first thing is really what I said before, really, which is like, it's what's your story? What's your organization's story? Yeah, you know, who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And why should someone do business with you as opposed to the people that you're competing with? That if you can't get that right, then you're pretty much doomed. I mean, you got to get that right. And again, a lot of organizations don't get it right, and that's one of the things that I think. One of the reasons why I think I've been able to have some measure of success is I think I've gotten to be pretty good at helping people figure that out. Good enough that I think we've been successful in figuring it out. The second thing I think is definitely knowing your audience. So exactly who is it that we're trying to talk to? Because ultimately it's all about like where you're going to spend your dollars. And I've never seen a marketing budget yet that was sufficient. So that's the challenge. Like, if you got $1 to spend, you got to know who you're spending it to try to reach. Because if you don't, you're doomed there too. And then the third thing is, you know, as I mentioned earlier, it's you know, where are you going to spend the buck, and how are you going to spend it in terms of like what choice you make in terms of the communication channel, the medium that you're going to use to get that message out there. So it's what's your story, who do you want to tell it to, and where and how are you going to tell it. And those are really, at the end of the day, those to me are the three critical things. And there's an awful lot behind each one of those. And you know, obviously enough for Bob to be able to teach a course about it, and you guys to get a degree in it. There's lots there behind those three questions, but to me, that's kind of what it all comes down to. And the PR is an interesting phenomenon, and because I see this a lot too, and Bob lives this every day. God love him. Because you know, you get, I can't tell you how many times, and this was big organizations and small organizations. People will say, well, oh yeah, like, well, we just get a story in the Buffalo News like about this. Like, can't we just do that? And like, we could do that, right? Or like, can't we get some reporter from Channel 7 to come out here and film this? And it's like, I don't know. Is it newsworthy? I mean, is it, you know, that's part of the challenge, and that gets back to, do people really understand this marketing stuff? In many cases, they don't, and they don't get the fact that you don't just call up the Buffalo News and say, hey, you know, we got something going on, and we think you should come down and, you know, and write about it, take some pictures about it. Well, you got reporters who are going to look at that and say, well, I don't know, is it newsworthy? Is it warrant, you know, inclusion on the front page of the Buffalo News? In many cases, it doesn't. But the guys you're working for think it does, because that's what they do. That's their life.
I can tell you for a fact